You go to the store and buy a gorgeous top, but after only one wash cycle, it looks like you've had it for 5 years. Exhausting, right? Imagine your favorite sweater doesn't pill after 3 washes. And your jeans last decades, not months. In the 1950s, this wasn't a dream, this was a standard. So what's the secret? Well, it wasn't because the clothes were better. It's what they knew in grade school that we've completely forgotten. Today, I'm reviving 10 real clothing care habits from the 1950s that will stop your clothes from falling apart, preserve your wardrobe, and save your wallet. Tip number 1. Change your outfit when you get home. In the 1950s, outdoor clothes were removed immediately to prevent wear and stains. Today, you can have inside clothes and outside clothes, and you want to change into those designated house clothes or cozy match and set when you get home to reduce friction, sweat buildup, and accidental stains. It's really important for your denim, your knits, your structured pieces, or your delicate clothes that you're saving for work or for those special events. When I can't change immediately the moment I walk in the door, I like to put on a nice house dress or robe over the things I can't change out of. This helps protect the clothes until I can change. Another fantastic option leads right into number 2. Wearing a full apron to protect your clothes or for messy tasks. Back in the mid-century, aprons protected dresses during cooking and cleaning. Now we have many more options for machine washable aprons or smocks for cooking, cleaning, hairstyling, and crafting. Even a lightweight apron can dramatically reduce washing frequency. However, no matter how much you do to protect your clothing, accidents can still happen. Which is exactly why number 3 is so vital. Treat your stains before fully washing. Back in 1951, small stains were handled immediately to avoid full laundering. Keep a gentle stain pen, micellar water, or diluted detergent spray on hand. This spot cleaning preserves color, elasticity, and prints, especially on modern blends. Another fantastic way to reduce the risk of your clothes getting stained often is to rotate your clothes with intention, which is step number 4. Back in the mid-century, wardrobes were rotated so that no garment was worn out too quickly, and today you can create a weekly outfit rotation or a capsule calendar. This will help you prevent premature thinning in your favorite items and reveal underused clothes. What I like to do is to pull from the bottom of my pile of work clothes, and then after it's washed, place it back on top. And I just rotate it that way. It makes it a lot easier. In my personal opinion, the washing machine is one of the best inventions ever. However, tip number 5 is essential, which is hand wash your delicates. In 1950, lingerie and knits were never machine washed. And there's a good reason for this. No matter what, when I put my delicates into a mesh bag, somehow, some way, they still end up twisted. So hand washing when possible with enzyme-free detergent for silk, lace, and wool blends is still just as important today as it was back then. Look, regardless of how careful you are, at times, rips and tears still happen, which is why learning tip number 6 is such a great skill to have. Fix it as soon as you possibly can. Back in the day, repairs were done before damage spread. Today, keeping a mini mending kit, a needle, thread, safety pins, can even help with temporary fixes to prevent seam stress and fabric tearing. Overwearing isn't the only way to weaken the fibers of your clothes. Overwashing can quickly damage them too, which is why brushing instead of washing is a great tip for number 7. Clothing brushes used to be used regularly to remove dust and debris after wear. Today you can use a lint brush or a fabric brush on coats, blazers, trousers, and other natural fibers. This will help reduce dry cleaning and washing frequency, which is actually pretty harsh on clothes, which will also save you a bit of money. Something else you may not be aware of is natural fibers actually inherently resist or kill microorganisms like odor-causing bacteria, mold, and fungi, without having to rely on synthetic chemical treatments. So it's a win-win. One chemical that's a household staple and might actually be sitting in one of your cabinets that is best to avoid for fabrics is tip number 8, and that's bleach. The known mid-century rule was bleach is only reserved for extreme sanitation and used sparingly, not routinely. Why? It weakens cotton fibers, yellows whites over time, and causes thinning and pinholes. It shortens the life of sheets, towels, and everyday garments. Today, you're better off using proper rinsing and soaking techniques along with natural cleaners that remove stains without destroying fibers. You actually don't need detergents, soaps, and cleaners for every single situation. In fact, a great way to reduce having to wash your clothes is tip number 9, by freezing them. During those cold winters in the 1950s, garments were aired outdoors even in freezing temperatures instead of being washed repeatedly. The cold air removed odors without stressing the fibers. Freezing temperatures helped neutralize bacteria and pests, and it reduced the need for harsh soaps and frequent laundering. Today, we still have plenty of items that would love to be hung out in the freezing cold. Grab your natural fibers, your structured garments, dry clean only items, and set them out on your balcony, near an open door to the outside, anywhere you can. And if you have no access to space outside, you can always put them in the freezer. The sun can either be your best friend or your worst enemy when hanging your bedding, bath linens, and clothes in its beautiful rays. Tip number 10, sunbathe your garments carefully because not everything can go outside. The 1950s mnemonic was whites in sun, colors in shade. The sun is a huge brightener. So in some ways it's fantastic, in other ways it's not. UVs fade modern dyes fast. Dry darks and brights indoors or shaded areas to prevent fading and discoloration. However, with those whites, put them right outside so they can be lightened, brightened, and you know those stains that are a freaking pain in the you-know-what to get out? Expect the magic to happen and watch them fade away right before your eyes. What's the real vintage secret? The washer and dryer were not the heroes. Their habits were. The big takeaway is less washing and more care equals longer lasting clothes. Vintage wisdom focused on preservation, not convenience. And that mindset saves money, time, and textiles today.